Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Astrology Hub Podcast. I am so thrilled to be here with all of you for part 2 of our How to Make a Treasure Map for the Aries New Moon, featuring Tracy Cook, astrologer. And we're so happy to be here with all of you, and we are so happy about the response from the first episode. And so Tracy and I came on last week. It's episode 462. Episode 462, for those of you who missed part 1, you'll want to check that out because this episode is dedicated to answering your questions about the treasure map process that is perfectly timed with the Aries new moon that's happening this Friday. And we have a time frame where we can make the treasure maps, which we'll talk about right now. But we saw all of your enthusiasm and all the questions that came in. And I reached out to Tracy and I said, hey, can we just do a quick part 2 to address some of the questions and also to show Tracy's treasure map for a longer period of time so she can actually walk you through it. For those of you who've never done a vision board, you need more initial inspiration to get started. We're going to spend a little more time looking at Tracy's treasure map from last year so that you can see how it's done, at least one way that it's done. Because I know one of the things you're giving us, Tracy, is a lot of leniency in how we do this. And it needs to be your own, correct?
Correct. It needs to be the treasure mapper's map.
Yes.
Not Tracy and Amanda's version of their treasure mapper's map.
Exactly. Right. Yes. So Tracy, I have actually like treasure map parties all weekend. Like on Saturday, it's perfect. So on Saturday, I'm going to be doing one with my love. And then on Sunday, I'm going to continue the process with my daughters and a friend and her daughter. And I'm just going to like make a whole weekend out of it. And I've been gathering ideas and writing them in my phone, like little things that I want to make sure are on there. So let's first start with a recap of the timing. I know there were some people who said, I did my map already. Like I just jumped on it. So tell us when's the best time to really harness this wave of energy and how long we have to do it.
Okay. So I thank you for having me back. I saw the enthusiasm with everybody as well. And I'm so glad that we can just focus on the map part of the story. That's great. I already gave the history. So everybody who wants to see that, they can go to the other episode. So the timing. So first of all, the Aries new moon is going to be at this March 31st for Amanda time zone and Tracy time zone, which is Pacific and Hawaii, but it's at 11:24 p.m. So it's almost at the end of the day. So for everybody else, it's April 1st. And, just back up your time take Pacific time zone of 11:24 p.m. and you figure out what it is in your own time zone. And it's most likely April 1. So that is when the new moon launches. So right now we're in the dark part. We're not at the new, we're in the balsamic. As I said in the last time, this is when we get rid of stuff. This is when we go get rid of our clutter. You have a couple more days to do it. Go get rid of anything broken in your house, get it out, clean up stuff, get rid of trash, get rid of the clutter in the corner, get all that, take care of that before new moon. So the new moon is, just to recap this part, there's 8 phases in a moon. And the waxing moon is the time that you can make your map. However, that's 14 days long. It's the new to the full, up to the full. The ideal time to make your map is in the concentrated beginning part. So I really would like everybody to try make their map in the between now and first quarter. So here's a little image of the moon. So you have new, and then you have crescent, and then you have first quarter, then you have gibbous, and then right up here is full. So you have up to then. But I really like you guys to do it. If you could do it in the new in the first 3.5 days, great. But not everybody can. So if you need to have the crescent, then okay, take that. If you can do it by first quarter, that's great. Now the dates, just so you know, the new lasts until April 4th, 8:45 p.m. Everything is Pacific time zone. So you have from March 31st, 11:24 p.m. Pacific to April 4th, 8:45 p.m. Pacific. Okay, you can't get, oh, I couldn't do it. I had so many things that got in my way. Got it. Then the first quarter starts April 8th at 11:47 p.m. Can you get it done by then? Then you've done it in the first quarter of the moon. Yay! And if you still can't get it done, then you can do it right up until the full moon, which is April 16th at 11:55 a.m. If it's April 16th and it's after 11:55 a.m. Pacific time, you're not doing a map this year. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. You'll do it next year. And not everybody can get a map figured out. Totally cool. But those are the dates. I'd love for everybody to do it in the concentrated time, but not everybody can. And it's more important for me that you make your map and give you a little bit more of a window during that time than to freak out about, I can't do it in 3.5 days. I don't want you freaking out on this process. It kind of rubs against it.
It's like stressing out to get to yoga class, right? It just doesn't work. There's some great questions coming in. So if you do have questions, to everybody who's here live, please submit them. I've also taken screenshots of all the questions that have come in underneath the first video. So we're going to cover as many as possible. All right. So we've covered the timing. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest questions that has come in from the audience has been, can I do it digitally? Can I use Pinterest? I don't know if I'm going to have time to get magazines. Can I actually just make an electronic digital map?
Yes, you may. Because the truth is, there are some people that electronic maps just resonates more for them. It really does. Astrologer in the house, probably they have a strong Aquarius in their chart. Maybe they've got a strong Uranus, but they just maybe they like to look at it on their phone all the time, or however they do it. So yes, there have been people in my treasure mapping group who have done digital and they have had success, and they have it as their screensaver, so they see it all the time. It's all good.
Yeah. I also ran it. It's funny. I'm like running into people in my community who are like, I'm doing my treasure map this week. And it's amazing, Tracy, how many people are naturally decluttering. Like they don't even know why, but they're feeling that impulse to naturally just like get rid of stuff. You would be so proud of me, Tracy. I hauled away bags full of stuff this week already.
How good did that feel?
More. I can't wait to do more. But people are doing that. And then I ran into someone who said, this is really private. And I live in a home with people that I don't want them questioning me about my board.
Oh, for sure.
And so I'd like to do it electronic so that it can just be like my own thing and I keep it privately hidden,
For sure. There are some people, I was candid last time. I keep my map up in my bedroom. It's just so I see it all the time. My husband sees it. I see it. My son sees it. Okay, it's there. But that's maybe not cool for everybody else. And I totally get that. And if you need to kind of put it away where you see it and it's your little private thing, that's okay. You don't all, everyone's situation is different, and sometimes you don't need everybody's opinion.
Yeah. Tracy, to address the question about like, I don't know if the images that I'm drawn to are more online and I'm not necessarily going to find them in magazines. I can really relate with that. I've actually gone out and sought images that I know I want on my board. Every year I have an astrology reading and I ask the astrologer on my birthday. I have it. I asked the astrologer to give me like a totem animal for the year I can really tap into the energy of that animal. And Amelie Grace gave me my reading this year, and she gave me, she said, any large female cat that you want. And I was like, ooh, like Black Panther. Like I just wanted this Black Panther. So I have looked for images of Black Panther that really fits the energy of what I was feeling in that moment. So what I would say to those of you who are concerned about the magazine thing is what my plan is to screenshot a bunch of things online and then print them out.
Yeah.
Print them out. And so because I like the act of making something physical, but I know I want the images to be a certain way. So what do you say about that, Tracy?
Well, that lines up with what's gone on for me in the last year. So I started these maps 26 years ago. We certainly had computers. I don't know if we had the World Wide Web. I guess we had the web 26 years. Yes, of course we did. It's all blurring for me. But so I would get magazines, and then I was not seeing what I wanted. So then I was just Googling and finding images, and then I was printing them and putting them on and shrinking them so they fit my map, and blowing some that are bigger. So it's part of the creative process, and you will find the images. Just humorous for me to tell this is that in 2020, when we had to do our map, that was right into the beginning of COVID. Nobody was leaving their houses. I took photos of stuff in my house and put it on my map. that was to kind of, it was fine. It called to me, and it still cemented what I wanted to accomplish. Mm-hmm. It was a weird period.
The other thing that I wanted to make sure you emphasize today is this idea of the affirmations. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing I've been finding myself doing is seeking out either quotes that I love, mm-hmm. and then also affirmations or even poems. Like there's this one about we're all stardust and we're the way that the universe experiences itself. I'm like, ooh, I love that. So I actually went and found it and screenshot that. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about adding affirmations to our treasure map and how you recommend we do that.
Okay, so so affirmations, I think everybody knows what they are, but they're statements. And when it comes to statements for you, and when it comes to treasure maps, the affirmations that are strongest are when they are in present tense. So, and that's instead of, I'm going to use this, I want a new house. I'm using that just to throw it out there. That's not a really strong, that's not a good affirmation, because the strength in that statement is want. So you're spending the whole year in a want phase, in a want mode. What's stronger is, I love and appreciate my house. My house is beautiful. I love my gorgeous house. Even if your house is not gorgeous and it's something you want to leave, you start affirming that so you can attract your house that you want.
Could you say, I love my gorgeous new house?
You can. Yeah, okay. For sure.
Could you say, I have something like, I have a house that delights me, or I am amazed that I get to live in this new house?
I'm amazed by my new house. I love my new house. Yes. And now you and I are kind of shopping it out, talking it down, figuring it out. That's what you'll do when you make your map. And then I usually do it, I type it, and I usually try to do it in a good size font, and then I put it on my map. Now, I will tell you, there are some years where my map is loaded with affirmations, maybe more affirmations than pictures. Mm. And whatever reason, that was what I was called to do. And I know one of my friends, she did one year, and I said, God, you have so few photos. She goes, I know, it was just all affirmations. Nothing's wrong. That's what called her. Maybe it's just needing to hear herself say it, or just read it in her brain and over, just to kind of get what she needed from it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes affirmations could just, especially for new people making maps for the first time, really do use the I. You go for the I. I enjoy, I am successful. There, mm-hmm. That's a simple one. Mm-hmm. This last map that I did, which I'll show, I didn't have as many eyes in it because I was in kind of a different headspace, and I just wanted to kind of feel the energy of the words. I have a feeling this year I'm going to actually do more I ams. I ams are great because they really set what your desires are. You start feeling them. So
let me give an example. I chose this affirmation. It's the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. So I would change that to the cosmos is within me.
Right.
I am made of star stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am a way for the universe to know itself. Correct?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Because you're
Okay.
owning it. Because what is Aries? Aries is I.
Mm.
That's the whole reason why we do this map at Aries. It's our personality. It's our person. This is where we go out to the world and say, I am here. That's why we do these in Aries.
Right. Okay. Someone asked how about using a board on Pinterest? Linda, I see that question and we've answered that one. And the answer is yes. If that's what you're inclined to do, you can totally do a board on Pinterest. Then someone asked, can I use pictures from a previous board? Like, can I actually bring those same pictures into this new board?
Yes, you can. Now we're talking about it today on March 30th. You may wake up on April 1st and say, yeah, I don't feel like that picture.
I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can take some of them. You might not be quite done. You know, I had a treasure mapper in my group who, let me get this right. I think it was her second child. She had a child and she really was longing for the second one. And she kept putting baby stuff on her map. And second child wasn't coming. And we went through a couple of maps. But then along the way, but she also had things about where she was happy where she was living, but she was also drawn to other energies. I remember she had other stuff up there. And somehow they had to move. And they moved a whole other time zone away, a whole other state. And she moved and got pregnant. And there were like two, I don't want to say two competing interests, but there were two interests in her. There was one that was driving. There was some part of her knew she needed to move. And she also wanted this baby. And it seemed like the baby wanted her to move too, because the baby came really quick. So why did I bring this up? I can't even remember. I'm sorry. Images. I guess I was just talking about how your map will. Well, what I really want to say.
That it can change. Like when we actually get to the new moon, there may be a change in the energy.
There could be changes of energy.
Yeah.
And I bring that up to say, I knew I had a point here. Sorry about that. I haven't decided, and I actually think it's a combination of both. With our map, is it like tuning into a radio? Are we in charge of where we want our map to go, where we want to go, or are we tuning in to something bigger that is telling us where we want to go? I'm always never sure.
I can absolutely understand that inquiry. And it's almost like, are we even kind of attuning to the future in a way, just knowing that time really collapses into this present moment anyway. So we're just like intuiting what we're pulling to us.
Correct.
And okay. So someone said, I have my map inside of my head. What would you say to that?
I love that you have your map inside of your head, but I'm asking you to put your map that's in your head and put it on a foam cord board or a piece of paper, because Aries is sight and it needs to see. And I get that's a different type of seeing, but we need to see it. And by the way, I appreciate your map will probably be you'll probably be a fabulous manifester, because if you got it in there, you can get it out here.
This is an interesting question from Gemini Jess. Do you recommend charging your treasure map outside in the new moon energy, or is doing it and leaving it inside enough? Have you ever done that, Tracy, or played with that idea?
No, but what I have not done it, but I actually think somebody in my group has done that. And then the other thing I will say is a lot of people who work with crystals will definitely charge them with the new moon and bring them out. And somehow they're around in the process when they're making their maps. I don't know if they're surrounding the crystals around them. They'll get that energy. I always light a candle. I light a red candle because it's fire for Aries new moon. But I appreciate the charging charging question. I'd like to see what they're if they do it, what they feel.
Yeah, let's play with it. I mean, that's how I feel about this whole activity. Like, let's just
Mhm.
play with it, see what happens, share what happens with each other,
Mhm.
and we can do it again next year. And next year we'll have more
For
time to
sure.
prepare and be ready for it. All right. So this is from Virginia. Do you set up the Bagua? So if people missed part one, we'll re-explain that a little bit.
Mhm.
But do you set up the Bagua according to the directions, i.e., east, west, versus where your door or entrance to your home is? Like, do you actually set it up based on your house directions?
No, I base the Bagua. It's an excellent question. That's a knowledgeable person who asked that question, so I appreciate that. So the Baguas, there's 9 Bagua squares, and so I just take that and I superimpose in my mind it on my map. So my topics, the topics that are listed in the Bagua, are put onto my map. And my map is probably, if I was sitting here thinking about it, my map goes in my house. I think my map is in my relationship section of my house. Curiously, if I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's either in relationship or creativity. So, do you want to segue to the Baguas?
Yes, but I took a screenshot of the Bagua thing
Okay.
because it's hard to see it when you're showing it on the board.
Oh, I'm
And I'm
sure. Yeah.
wondering if I can maybe screen share it, but I've never actually done screen share myself on StreamYard, so I'm a little nervous to do it. I hope I don't like blow up the broadcast
Okay,
somehow.
I'm gonna think positively.
Okay, let's see. Okay. If I do this, ooh, oh shoot.
You're
This is making me nervous.
you're
I
still
don't think I wanna
here.
do it. Yeah, I'm still here, I know, but I didn't click the next button because I think I might it might not work. Jamie, if there's any way that you could screen share, would that be possible? Jamie's here, but not visible right now. Anyways, if Jamie, someone posted the Bagua squares in the Mighty Networks group for the inner circle, and it would be nice to put them on the screen so people can actually see. But basically, what it is categories of life that
Mhm.
you can use and place on your board in a specific way according to feng shui
Right.
that helps you cover all the different areas of life. So you don't leave anything out.
Mhm.
You don't focus only on relationships, but forget about your body. You don't only focus on health, but forget about your family.
Mhm.
You actually cover all the areas of life, which I love this part, Tracy. This is like next level
Yeah,
treasure mapping.
My friend Anne was the one who introduced me to. She introduced me to Feng Shui, and she was the one that said, "I think we should do Feng Shui our maps." I said, "You are so right," and I mean, I know Jamie's probably going to get it, but just so that we can just have it
Yeah,
hear
let's
it.
see. Oh, okay. So I could do this while you're showing that. I could
Mhm.
say the categories, and
Yeah,
anybody can Google this. You can Google
yeah.
Bagua. It's Bagua Feng Shui, and
Mhm.
you're gonna find this. But that purple box is wealth and prosperity. The red one in the middle is fame and reputation, which Tracy was saying, kind of like how you want to be seen in the world and your world. It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean that you want to be famous. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's an old-fashioned thing.
Right. The
Mhm.
pink one is love and marriage.
Mhm.
Then you have the green one, which on my example is health and ancestors, but on your example is family.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
that.
Well, that's curious why you got ancestors. I would have put ancestors down in the gray one. That's how I
Right.
understand it. Now, I'm upfront. I'm not a feng shui master at all, but I think people can figure that
Yeah,
they should research a little bit.
right. Oh, so the green one is family, and
Hmm.
then the yellow
Oh,
one in the
good.
middle is health and center.
Yes, that's correct.
We're seeing something here, Jamie. Okay.
We were almost there.
And then the white one is children and creativity, right?
Yes. Uh huh.
Children. And then the blue bottom corner is knowledge and
And that's one of the travel ones. That's
travel.
my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. The dark gray is career and life path.
No, the dark gray is helpful people.
No,
Now they have this
yours
one
is
has
black. Mine's dark gray. That middle one.
Black is career.
Career.
Yes.
Yes. And then the final one, that light gray, you said when we went through it last time, was spirituality. Yeah.
That was the way I learned it. And even though this one that I cut out and put on here just before you and I met last week, it had I understood it as people who have passed over, ancestors who have died. You maybe put their pictures there, or it's a spirituality one. That's the way I understood it.
Yeah.
Now, experts out there, you might
Right.
know more, but that's how I do. This is how I do my map.
It's so great, Tracy. And someone made a great point in the community. They were like, you could also use the 12 houses in astrology,
Yes, of course
right?
you
I mean,
could,
because if we did the 12 houses, that would also cover all areas of life, right?
Yeah, you could,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
All right. So let's go to your map and
Okay.
let's see if there's any other questions, please keep them coming in. I think we've covered all the ones that I gathered beforehand and some of the ones that have come in as we're live here. So
Sure.
continue to ask, how do you spell Bagua?
Bagua. And
Yeah.
right. Bagua.
Yeah. And that's Bagua. Yes. And as we can see, there's a few different versions of this Bagua map. Is that what you call it? A Bagua?
Yeah. Graph, chart. Yeah. Right.
Yes. So just
once you start searching it, you'll see plenty.
Yeah. Find the one
and then that'll be in your search engine. And so then when you go to Facebook, you're going to see, hey, hire a feng shui expert. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. So this is the one that someone in our community pulled. Tracy's is a little bit different, right? Because that turquoisey green box.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah. Yeah. See, I have mine is family. I don't know why that says health and ancestors.
Yeah, because health and center and health and like may as well put health and all that in that yellow.
I always understand health is the yellow. Listen, you guys find the one that works for you, that makes sense for you. The point of this exercise is that you will be thinking about all parts of your life when you do it.
Yeah.
And you will have success. This is kind of like sidereal astrology versus tropical. It's like it all works.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So let's take a look at Tracy's map. And one thing to remember, and just a recap from last time, Tracy emphasized many times that you are to make your map your own. There is not one right way to do it. It's not like do it this way. It's just intuit a little bit and also just make it yours.
Yes, you should get quiet, find your center, use your intuition, use your creativity, let the images speak to you, clear the chaos. This is your time to be with you. That's when you make your map. Okay, so starting at the top, please put a picture of yourself. This is a picture of me, and I know I told you guys that I kind of screwed up by putting it with my son from years ago, and maybe
so
way too.
I've been thinking about this. So this picture of yourself, is this like just to sort of orient the board to you, or like what's the purpose of that?
It's your board.
Okay.
It reminds you it's
like
your
manifest board. Some previous version of yourself, or you just
I just liked it because I felt so good. Like I had mentioned to you, I'd lost a little weight. I felt really strong. I said, oh, so that was a good time. Yeah. And I don't need
maybe it could be something physically about the way you look in the picture, and maybe energetically, maybe you're really happy in the picture. Maybe
I liked everything about that picture.
Yeah.
It was a really good time and all that. But I don't like the idea that I was thinking about the past all year. I don't want to do that again. That's not quite. That's not how I roll. Okay, so then I'm going to try to do this so this makes the most sense. Okay, so you put your name, you put your picture up, and then I was like I told you, I'm kind of like drawn to words, but I didn't have as many strong I am affirmations. I just like the benefits of mindfulness, and I have to say mindfulness pops up a lot in this map. I was very mindful all year, and I really was grateful. I was grateful I took a beat before I sent an email or sent a reply. I thought about, that really, I mean, saved me is probably too dramatic, but it made my life a lot better that I was so mindful all last year.
Nice.
So that I felt was really important to me. Now now we're kind of getting into the relationships area. I like these two hands. I like the seashells. It just kind of spoke to me. My husband and I I know this sounds so silly to say to you, Amanda, they're living in Hawaii, but we had a nice trip to the beach a couple times. And I don't know, it was just, it was sweet. For relationships, I have used lovebirds. This is just something that calls to my husband and me. And he always likes to come and say, "Did you put the lovebirds up?" I go, "Yeah, I put the lovebirds up."
Oh, that's really precious that he's
Yeah, right.
the lovebirds.
He goes, "We're going to do lovebirds again." I go, "Yeah." By the way, it's my map, but right.
Yeah.
And then here was the power in lovebirds. Our love is always growing. So that was the affirmation that I went for. And then now we're into the creativity section of the Baguas, and I wrote creativity is always flowing. And then I had rise and shine. Now I also put a picture of my son up, and you have to be really careful because you don't want to get into other people's business. My son has to make his own map. So I want to be careful about that. It's not like I'm controlling him and telling him what I want for him. I can do that some other time. I don't have to do it on my map. And I wrote safe new adventures and successes, joy, fun, and knowledge. And he has had a lot of that this year. But that's, again, just my appreciation. And where he has maybe not had that, I see it as that. Where he maybe had some hurdles with friends or with whatever, I see it as knowledge. So then I don't get wigged out. Just let him have his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then down here in the spirit section, I have stable connection to spirit. So by the way, this looks like it was probably an article in some magazine. But see, I was just drawn to that. And then I added the words to spirit. So I would like that. And then I added that. Now, this is an affirmation. I usually do a version of this every year. And I want you to know, I don't do it because, well, I always do it every year. And it's like you're making grandma's recipe for sweet potatoes at Thanksgiving. I don't have that attitude. It's just that I like to have something about timing in this section. And so I am grateful that my life has perfect timing. And then I have this picture of the earth. It just appealed to me. So now when we get over here to work, I have the School of Life, and then I am, that goes to that one. Create concrete successes through storytelling, which I told you about last time. The Simple Things Way, Everyday Success World. So my life is not just about work. I do have a small business, but I do a lot of activities. I'm an advocate for a lot of causes that are important to me. And I really have to say, we have had a lot of successes. We have gone over hurdles. We have taken care of business. This has all been very fruitful this year for me. And then, so now we're getting over here into knowledge. And this is my understanding of travel. And if I got it wrong, then I guess I got it wrong. But I always remember travel being over here. I have hidden city gems. And this, I know, Amanda, we joked about it. I had mindful travel. And I told you how I didn't go anywhere last year, really. But I had travel in my mind a lot. But to be honest, when I made this map, it was April of last year. We didn't know what travel looked like. And so I think my own hesitancy was in my map. And frankly, I looked at people who were traveling and I'm like, I don't want to stand in a line for a plane and deal with that and wear the mask. I was like, I'll stay home. So this actually was very true for me because it made me think, well, where am I on this? Well, I kind of feel like staying home. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling there will be travel this year. It'll look a little different than this.
You probably won't say mindful travel this
time. Probably not. But
right.
But
what I like about this, Tracy, is the reminder that the words actually matter, and the
Words matter.
energy behind you, like your energy as you're making the map, also matters. If you're like, and I'm not saying you were doubting yourself, because it sounds like this was exactly what needed to happen, that you didn't actually travel that much at all.
Well, that's why I said, I don't know. Are we telling the radio channel what to be on, or am I picking up on the radio channel? For me, it's
right.
And I think that mindfulness was important for me. Like, we actually tried to go someplace, and there was a forest fire. So we were trying to go to Sedona, and it was surrounded by fire. I go,
wow.
Why am I going to spend money to go be in smoke and ash in Sedona when I can do that here in Los Angeles when Glendale's on fire? I'm like, well, maybe not Glendale, but the San Gabriel's behind it. I got that coming in the fall. I don't.
Right.
So, okay. Now, of course, I didn't. Okay, so now I have this silly thing. Feel good getaways. Well, okay, how did I not travel but have feel good getaways? A day at the beach with my husband was a getaway. And so, and then we went out to some friends out in kind of horse country and outside of Los Angeles, and we had a really nice time there. Feel good getaway is exactly that, a feel good getaway. And so over here we had shiny and tidy.
Which section of the map are you in now?
Family. Okay. So I have the three of us, and I have shiny and tidy. And, just kind of wanted, I guess I was really feeling the need for us to just be nimble, not cluttery. And I don't just mean clutter in our place, but I just kind of wanted, sometimes I see us as three people that kind of work in unison. And so I put this nice picture of us and shiny and tidy. And it also for the home. Now I told you that I really want to make over my kitchen. We didn't get it done, but we actually started talking to people about what it would look like. We took it from the theory and then started getting into the actual, well, what is that money? That's something different. But one thing that I noted after I saw you last week is we had our dining chairs were really starting to look, hobo-ish. I'm like, what the hell is going on? They were tearing. I'm like, hey, and my mother-in-law out of nowhere said, I want to buy you guys a new set of chairs.
Wow.
So that answered this. That was part of this story. So this one is still evolving, and that's fine. So then I had green up. Green was important to me, just doing being more and more mindful of being green. And I also was doing a lot of advocacy work for green causes. So I definitely had that year. And then this is one so this is a tree made of money. I like that. And then I wrote, we are growing our money and resources every day. And then this was one of my affirmations. I am connected to the endless abundance of the universe. And I had some oddball money come to me in weird ways all year. Not anything I planned. So this speaks to that somebody's working with me, right?
Tracy, did you also, abundance can mean money, but it can also mean all kinds of, it can be an abundance of ideas or resources or
abundance. So right. I would have a need pop up that had nothing to do with money. And damn, if I did not hear from somebody who would bring up a conversation that would answer what I needed.
Wow, that's really cool.
That kind of stuff. So yes, this is the abundance and resources in this whole area. And then, so images that I was also, like I think I mentioned to you last time, was drawn to the lighthouse for no reason that I have no idea. And then I even wrote the word lighthouse, and I wrote kindness blossoms and good things. And as I mentioned to you last time, I found that I was a lighthouse for a lot of people, which is fine. And people were lighthouses for me. So that was important this last year. And then kindness blossoms.
Tracy, before you move on about the lighthouse, I often refer to astrology and what I hope the role Astrology Hub plays in the world as being a lighthouse for people in the darkness. And you're here on this platform as a lighthouse for all of us right now.
It's
who
true.
are so inspired to do this treasure map. So it's still happening.
I'm so happy these last few days of this treasure map year that I get to bring a little more lighthouse to your wonderful community.
Yes.
So and astrology is a weather forecast. It really is. It's like, okay, this is coming ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the center, which was health. And I liked this gal, and I just thought she just seemed like she owned her body. And I liked Acer shape. And I'm not where I want to be, but I exercise more. I went for long walks. I went for a super long walk before 14,000 steps. I didn't even have that app on my phone until after I launched my map. Nice. So I did that today. But this is the kind of stuff that usually tends to be a work in progress. And then some other words, long-lasting results, flashes of brilliance, inspired, delights, hope springs, many successes. Yes, I can say that so much of this is true for me. Now, I just want to say this map is perfect for me. And this map probably reflects a person of my age at this time in my life. My kid is raised. I've been married for 20 some odd years. I started maps when I was not married, not sure what my career. I was in entertainment. I was like making some changes. And I was like single gal. And some of those maps were probably a little bit more, I want this kind of house and I want that. And it was really about some tangible stuff. And that's okay. This one seems a little bit more, maybe a little more philosophical than people who are watching this are going to head for with their map. They might have some damn practical stuff they need. And I salute you. Yeah, I mean, this map worked for me at this moment, at that moment in my life last spring. Who knows what my next map will have on it?
Mm. Tracy, thank you so much. I know that it's a very intimate thing to share your map with all of us.
It's very intimate.
I'm so glad we have this opportunity to come back on and do it when we could really just focus on this piece of like the kind of like the how-to.
Mm-hmm.
And that all of you have had a little bit of time to absorb the first episode on the treasure maps. And so this was like the sequel. And I'm just so grateful. It's been so fun to have the feedback from the community and just to feel the enthusiasm and the excitement. There's people in our inner circle group who are going to be sharing their maps. There's a little virtual party happening for some people in the inner circle. I know many people have also scheduled their own parties in their neighborhood or with their friends, and that's so fun. And then I know some of you are just going to do it on your own. You're going to be in that quiet space with yourself and just take the time. But this is what it means to live our life in unity with the rhythms of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And nature, the universe, and the astrology and the movement of the stars and the planets as part of nature, and then us being a part of that. And then really, we talk a lot here about co-creating. This is co-creating. This is, okay, universe, like I can see this wave coming, this wave of energy that's like a real fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hop on that wave. I'm going to direct the way I ride it. I'm going to make it my own and dance on the wave or do whatever you want. You ride the wave with a goat. People do that. They like put little goats on the waves.
I knew yoga goat. I didn't know
that's
surfing goat.
But you're choosing how you're going to ride this wave of this next astrological year. And the other thing I've heard from people is, I've been doing vision boards for a while, but I never thought to align it with the astrology. It's like, yes, this is perfect. This is a great way for people to start to tune into the astrology, even to like be like, oh, like that moon phase thing, like that actually matters. And maybe I could align with it and start working with it a little more consciously.
Yeah, working with each new moon when it goes down to 12 signs. This is how I run my life. I do everything with based on the new moon of the sign. I support people doing that. I also think, Amanda, that you should take a little victory lap on you are really kind of feeling and running with the upcoming Jupiter conjunct Neptune.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Tracy. Because what I'm seeing is that we have like a double whammy opportunity here to really tune into our dreams and our visions and harness this wave, because we have the Aries new moon,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously we have every year, which is
Mm-hmm.
conjunct Chiron. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of opportunity here. There's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of opportunity there. Then on April 12th, we have the Jupiter-Neptune in Pisces conjunction,
That's right.
which is a once in a lifetime astrological transit. We will never have this transit again. It's been 166 years since this transit happened.
In
And we're
Pisces.
in Pisces. Yes,
Right.
exactly. So we're living it in real time. And it really is the energy of, all right, what's your dream? What did you come here to do? And it's almost like
It's
I keep,
expansive.
it's expansive, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also like we can access realms of our dream and our vision that are sometimes maybe hidden beneath the clouds, I want to say. It's
Right.
like the clouds part. It's like, oh, like this is what I'm here to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have our Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces Jubilee, which is happening actually next week, April 7th. There's a premium panel for you to learn all about the astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following week, we're doing a guided community event on the actual day of the conjunction.
Nice.
So make your treasure map, then join the Jubilee. The Jubilee is a give as you wish event. So we've never done this before, but literally there's these things happen where there will be these certain astrological events, and it'll be like, I get downloads. I feel like I'm getting a download from the planets themselves saying, this is how this needs to be done. I'm like,
Right.
okay. We at one point we thought it would be a like $17 event or a $27 event. And then I went back to the team and I was like, you guys, it's give as you wish. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to pay nothing, pay nothing. If you want to pay $100, pay $100, whatever you feel called to give to support the efforts of this endeavor. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we want everyone to be there because the power of the group energy is so strong, right? So it's like, I
Yes.
don't want
Right.
anybody not joining because they can't afford it. So it's like, everybody can show up, everybody can contribute their energy. We're making a talisman, Tracy, for this event. Did you hear about this?
Oh, I did
Listen
not.
to this. This is another crazy idea that came in about this event. There's a musician on our team who sent me an email and went, I'm getting this crazy idea. I don't know what you think about it, but what if we made a musical talisman that brings the voices of all the people in the community together into this one musical piece? So we're
Wow.
all on the Jupiter hour on April 9th. If you want, you don't have to do this piece, but if you want, if you're called, we're all going to sing one word, and the word is grow.
Oh, wow.
And then he's going to put all the words together into a song. So it's all these different voices of people saying grow, 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 grow. And then you can direct that song to your treasure map,
Sure.
to your vision board. And you're
Mhm.
basically like watering it with the energy of Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, which is amazing.
Yes.
We're also going to teach you, there's like a 13-page document on how to make a Jupiter-Neptune altar for this event. I mean, it's like all these ideas coming together into this one Mod Podge of an event. And that's why we're calling it a Jubilee, because it was like, I don't know what this is called, but it's a Jubilee. And that's all happening. So it's like you can do your treasure maps this weekend and into next week. You can learn about the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction with Linda Byrd, Becca Tarnas, and Divine Harmony. And then
Nice.
we're going to do our talismans, and then we're going to come together and have a guided community event where we debut the song, and we have our altars, and we do some meditation together, and we just really, like, at the moment of the conjunction, harness that energy. So
That's fantastic. This Jupiter, you're doing such great work, and you're letting your antenna pick up the stuff, and everybody's communicating to you. And that is what the Jupiter and the Neptune speak to. And I think that we have to replenish ourselves. And we have been in the desert for a while, and it's been harsh. We're dealing with harsh astrology. You have all the people who come to you. You know what we're in, and we need this. And we need this Jupiter Neptune just to kind of replenish ourselves. We're big, and we'll replenish, and then it'll help us as we head forward to everything we're going to be dealing with.
Exactly, Tracy. Yeah, I mean, I remember in the 2022 forecast event, looking at March, April, and being like, every time the astrologers would talk about this, where we're now, it felt like the sun shines, again, the clouds part, the sun's beaming down. We have this opportunity to really focus on what we want to create. And then we're going to need that energy to take us through the rest of the year, because it's not like we're done with the challenging energy we've been in since 2020. It's not over, but this is this kind of like a, what do they call those in the desert when you go into
an oasis?
An oasis. It's an oasis.
Yes.
And it's a time for us to really like go, okay, well, how do I consciously move forward and stay focused on what I want to stay focused on? And the world's swirling around, but I'm called by this higher ideal to actually continue moving forward. Right.
And that's also goes into the treasure map, because when you open yourself up and you tune in and you're saying, okay, what do I need on my map? It's a treasure map. It's probably going to be guiding you in a way that is going to serve you. Not probably, it's going to guide you in a way that will serve you down the road. If things should get bumpy, you may say, wow, I'm really glad I did this. And that was on my map. And then you can sit back and say, oh, that really turned out to be the right thing to do.
Another reminder to be as much in your heart and in your intuitive space as possible. Like, we sometimes get way heady about things, and that will be maybe you trying to kind of control the way the map goes, but really dropping into your intuition and allowing it to guide you.
Yes.
I think it's a really important thing. Yeah.
Very good note. Yeah. We don't want your brain to overdo this. This isn't a brainiac thing. This is an intuitive, thoughtful, mindful, and intuitive way of doing this, but not because we don't want all the neuroses that come with the brainiac stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot this.
Right. All right. So Tracy, you are so generous. You have just come, you reached out to me. You said, I have this thing. I want to share it with your community. You've just given from this beautiful place of your heart. Thank you so much.
So happy, Amanda, to share all this with you guys. I'm excited for everybody. I'm glad people are responding. They can feel the oasis that they need.
Yes. Very good. And thanks to all of you for your enthusiasm. It's so fun to co-create with you. Like, it's like we get to play at Astrology Hub and then you play with us. Like, it's way more fun when there's playmates to play with. So
yeah, of course.
Thank you for bringing your energy and your enthusiasm and your like willingness to try and just experiment and see what happens, and to share that with us too in the process. If you want to join us for the Jubilee too, that's astrologyhub.com/Jubilee, astrologyhub.com/Jubilee. And we'd love to see you at that event too. We can just kind of carry this energy. And I remember asking the question at the 2022 forecast event to our inner circle astrologers. I said, can we carry the Jupiter-Neptune in Pisces energy throughout the whole year? Like, is that an opportunity for us? And they said, yes. And the more you focus, the more you're very aware during this time period that we're in right now of what you're putting your attention on, and really making sure it's the things that you want to grow. It's the things you want to water and nourish and see flourish. And the things that you don't want to see doing that, being very mindful of how you're directing your energy to those things. And even if it's just for a period of time, like, siphon that off for right now. This isn't the time to be engaged in what the world wants you to be engaged in. This is the time to be engaged in what you came here to do, and really get strong and clear in that.
And by the way, if I didn't say this, your affirmations shouldn't have no and not in them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Like, that's really huge. Like, we had a leak in in my son's bathroom on the ceiling, and it caused a lot of drama. I do not want to I have no leaks this year in 20. I'm like, no, I don't want to affirm a negative. Just like, I have a happy, healthy house.
Yes.
Right.
A happy, healthy house that is strong and it's like, you wouldn't even say keeps me free from the elements, right?
You don't even want that. No. We don't want it. We're just moving past that.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so
I'm
glad we
so
kept talking. So
me too,
I
and I'm
can.
so glad our paths have crossed. Thank you, and
Me
I can
too.
see that this will be a fun thing to maybe do annually.
I see that too.
Yay!
And if we want to check back on June 28th and see,
Oh yeah, the can someone actually recommended that. They said, Why don't we do another episode at the
just
Cancer new
check in.
moon
Yeah, we'll check in with people June 28th because you should start seeing stuff happen before now and June 28th.
between now and June 28th. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that will be the first our little sprouts like coming out of
Yeah, the
ground.
little green shoots.
Yay, awesome.
Yay.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you as always for making astrology a part of your life. We'll catch you on the next episode.